Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. I'm David Marion. I am a life recovery coach, an interventionist, also an author. Yes, I did write a book. We collaborated with my ex-wife called Addiction Rescue, the No BS Guide to Recovery. Today what we want to talk about is a few things. We're going to talk about what to expect from the family content. We have two daughters, Sophie and Mimi, and what it was like for them growing up with a dad as an addict. Some of their earliest memories that they had, from childhood all the way up. We will talk about the experiences of being a daughter to a dad that was also a compulsive gambler. My girls basically grew up in Vegas on weekends. We had some of the wildest trips imaginable. We were considered a whale, which means that we were taken care of in ways that most people weren't. So my kids have the experience of growing up in penthouses in many hotels in the city, Vegas. So we're going to also talk about some other things, really strong things. When I was indicted and sentenced to 60 months in federal prison, the effects it had on them. You know, when you're dealing with addiction in the family, I was the person who was afflicted, but my family members were all affected by my drinking, drugging, and gambling. And the effects that it had on them and the ways that it manifested with them and resonated with them is really what's important for them to talk about. So in the next two episodes, we're going to have my daughters talk and go through their experience from what it was like seeing dad under the influence, what it was like when they went to court to see their dad get sentenced, and what it was like when their dad was in prison. This is a very, very trying time for the family. It was very tough for them. There was a lot of shame attached, even to them, having their dad's name blasted all over the papers. And the cut was extremely deep. We'll talk about the pain that they went through and how they recovered from this to where we're at today. We're going to go into depth in other recovery stories as well that might be interesting. If anyone is listening and you can connect with us and we connect on levels, please send us some ideas, share some stories with us. We are doing this to get our word and family out there that recovery is possible. Even though addiction is a family disease, the recovery is a journey. You know, we often talk about guilt and shame, and the important thing to understand when you're going through addiction is that guilt is, I made a mistake, but I could change. Shame is, I am hopeless. I live in that hopeless persona. And a lot of that has to do with a limited self-belief that I was born with. I often say I came out of the manufacturer's plant defective. Interestingly enough, my mom tells a story that when I was in kindergarten, probably 6, 7 years old, the school bus had pulled right outside my house. My mom told me a story recently that I went in and out of the house probably 4 or 5 different times to change my outfits, because at that time I was so unsure of who I was inside. As a result, I started gambling at the age of 9, started drinking at the age of 12. And I knew when I drank, other people liked me, because I didn't like the person I was. But when I drank, I began to like who I was. I was an introverted person that became extroverted when I drank. When I played cards, it was a great release. So these are a lot of the things we'll be talking about. We're real excited for you to meet our daughters. Sophie just graduated Ohio State a couple of years ago with a logistics and supply chain degree. She's 24, and Mimi is 22. She just graduated Florida Atlantic University on a 4-year Division I scholarship, and she's been quarantining the last few months with Dad. And it's interesting because the last time we lived together was in high school, probably junior high. And right after that, I had went off to prison. So it's kind of like this rebirth and regrowing and reacclimating and finding out exactly some of the things we like and don't like. The first few weeks were real tough. Let me tell you, we were trying to find a groove. And I think that we found that vibe now. We often like to work out together. We do fun things. And it's really been nothing short of miraculous what we're going through now. So Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being on here with us. If you like it, please remember to subscribe, leave comments. We'll always respond to the comments. If you have any suggestions, thoughts for some of the episodes you'd like to see, we are more than happy to oblige. Have a good day.